we don't always think about safety, but we should, even more so as seniors. And believe it or not, I am a senior myself. I am a member here at the St. Clair Senior Center. I am 66. I'm still working because my wife said you can't just sit at home. But I like what I do. I like what I do. I'm passionate about helping seniors for a couple reasons. One, I am one, and number two, my mom, who just recently passed, was a senior. She was a widow for 25 years, and sometimes she got taken advantage of, and I don't want any senior taken advantage of. So Ben, we need to be mindful for safety, because we don't often think about safety, do we? You just kind of go through the day and assume everything's fine. So one of the first things I want to talk about is your surroundings. So when you go somewhere, or you go shopping, or you're in a parking lot, be mindful of your surroundings. I know for me, I don't see as well at night. And especially at night, I'm not sure if I'm probably not the only senior that sometimes can't see at night, but just be mindful of your surroundings. Sometimes, because you watch the news and there's all this crazy stuff going on, and it doesn't discriminate against young people or old people. It's just crazy out there. The next thing I want to talk, and again, this is interactive, okay? This is interactive. I know last time we had some really good suggestions about some different systems, but next one is self-defense. Do you know how to take care of yourself? You know where the pain points are for a man? Obviously you probably do, but one of the big ones is the shin. Because if they have a hold of you, you can't get to the real part, so if you just stomp on their shin, that could help you. And again, just to be mindful. I know here at the Senior Center, I'm not sure they have some self-defense classes, but try to at least stay fit, because there's, when I was working for Ford for 30 years, we had to do training every year and say what happens if you do. So the first one is hide. The next one is, I forget what the next one, but the third one was flight. So the first one is hide, because of crazy stuff. The second one was, try to, barricade yourself, and the third one was the flight. So just be mindful of where you are and what's going on around you. Next one I want to talk about is scams. Has anybody been scammed?
They tried.
I have been scammed, and they're getting more and more creative with what they're doing. I was talking to my financial planner, and I told him what happened, and kind of embarrassed, and he said, Mike, it's going on all the time. It's getting more and more sophisticated. And the thing that bothers me is, with all this energy that people are putting forward to scam people, what if they really put their efforts towards something good? Maybe they could go work for a company that tries to stop scams, since they know how to scam. They almost scammed me where I got a thing where it said I had overpaid for a Geek Squad, and they needed to give me the money back, and it was just, I almost lost a lot. And then another one I did lose a lot because I got scammed. But be mindful. The other thing is, you're going to get calls for Medicare. Listen, I get them too, because I'm 66. Do not answer those calls. And if you do, never, ever, ever give out your Medicare number. It's like giving them a credit card, because they're going to go sign you up to whatever plan makes that broker the most money. And those people are, they're not bad people, but they're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interest. And that's one of the things about myself, because my wife also does Medicare, is I will always do what's in the best interest of the beneficiary. That's just how I was raised. And if I didn't, my dad would knock me in the next week. It's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. Next thing is natural disasters. Have you seen the weather, what's going on in Alaska? Did you see that? Floods in Alaska.
Oh, gravy.
Homes are being washed away. I mean, some of the, we're kind of lucky here in that we don't have a lot of the really crazy natural disasters. I know my first in-laws, they live in the Villages, which is in Florida, which is in Central Florida, so they kind of get the tail of the hurricanes. But we don't really have hurricanes here. We really don't have tornadoes here so much. I lived in Kansas. I lived a lot of places. When I lived in Kansas City, we were tornadoes a lot. So we would, so we had our basement all set up that when there was a tornado warning, we went right downstairs, and we had a sofa set up and a little TV so we could at least hopefully watch the news of what's going on. But be mindful of disasters. You know, if you watch TV at all, you see where if there's flood waters, do not drive through flood waters. I mean, because you don't know how deep it is. And you just gotta be careful, because some people just, they don't think about it, and you have to really think about it. Next one is home safety. Does anybody have grab bars or ramps or anything like that? So if you do, there's some. I've got grab bars. I've got the ones that are suction cups, and they work really well. And then my mom had one. It's kind of crazy, but my mom had one in the restroom to help her lift herself up. It was actually a grab bar that was attached to the wall, because as you get older, you're not as limber. You're not as limber. And then outside, sometimes it does. Sometimes the ground looks even, but it's not. I'll just use myself as an example. I was playing golf with my wife, and I was just walking up to her, and there was a hole, and I didn't see it, and I absolutely went down and bruised my ribs, and I'm like, I'm walking on a golf course. I mean, what the heck? And then I fell another time, and then one other time, and I went to see my doctor. She said, Mike, stop falling. And I'm like, I'm really trying. I'm really trying not to fall, but it's, be careful. Anybody allergic to insects or anything like that? I mean, you gotta watch it, because like if you're allergic to insects and you love flowers, the bees are going to come. Some people are very allergic to bees. I'm lucky I'm not. My wife is. So you just got to be really, really careful. Next I have is the police and the fire department. These people that are part of the police force and the fire department, they're heroes. They are heroes. Anytime I see a police officer, I always thank them for their service. And I always thank the veterans. I work with a lot of veterans. I had to get certified by Humana to be able to be a veterans advocate. I wasn't able to be a veteran because I'm 6'7", and my dad was in the Navy, and I wanted to go in the Navy, and they said, son, you don't fit. I had size 15 shoes, and the beds on the boat are like this long. So I do volunteer work with veterans. I work a lot with the VFW, but they're heroes. They're heroes. And I remember when I was a kid, and I was born in '59, and the Vietnam War was going on when I started becoming aware of what was going on. And I said, Dad, why is everybody so angry? Why is everybody so angry? He says, it's because not everybody supported the war. I go, but I don't understand. And at that time, as a 9-year-old kid, you couldn't connect the dots. But it's like these men and women laid their lives on the line for us, for our freedom. So I thank them for the freedom. Our police officers, if something happens, do not be shy about calling 911. Do not be shy about it. And whether it's the police department or the fire department, I know I had an allergic reaction right before I moved from here, and my wife had been in. I lived in Las Vegas. My wife had been in California, and I was taking some medicine. I had an allergic reaction, and then when she got home, the lights were not on, the dogs were not fed, and I was like in a chair, and she came. I don't even remember her talking to me, and then she called the fire department, and then they picked. And of course, this is during COVID as well, and then they came and picked me up. I don't remember. I remember they took me to. I don't remember even being taken to the hospital until I woke up, and I guess I was burning up with a fever, and it finally broke. But do not be shy about calling. I know my neighbors are like, "What was the big fire truck in front of your house about?" And they go, "It was Mike. You know, he had an allergic reaction." But again, have those numbers handy. It's just there to help protect you. And does everybody in here have Medicare or Medicare Express plan? I mean, your ambulance is covered, but it's a copay. I know it's a fixed dollar amount local. If it's a helicopter, it's 20%. And I work with Manchester down there, and a couple of times they had to take the helicopter from Manchester to Vanderbilt. It was $5,000. So 20% was $1,000. Still a lot of money, but it's better than $5. And it got them there fast, because there's no stoplights with a helicopter. Right, exactly.
We're in trouble if there are.
Yeah, exactly. Next one is home security. Does anybody have alarm systems on their homes? I have Ring. While it's not security, we'll tape it, and we paid extra so that they'll store it for us for, I forget, a period of time. Before when I lived in Las Vegas, we had ADT, but there's not a lot out here from where I live. I live at Almaville Road and 840. That's where I live, and it's a newer area, so I haven't seen a lot of security. But we do have the Ring, which it isn't perfect, but it helps. Of course, our house is fenced, and the gates are locked, but that doesn't mean people can go over them or anything. But again, be mindful. Home security is going down. The prices of going down. When I had an agency in Las Vegas, it was a company called Hippo, and they did property insurance. If you went with Hippo, they gave you a simple safe system. It was camera, it was water, it was carbon monoxide, it was all included, and it was free, and you didn't even really have to sign up for the service. But if you had it, a lot of times if you just have the sign in your front yard, that can be a deterrent as well. So sometimes if you don't have it, you can ask for just say, give me a quote, and then get the sign and put the sign in your front yard. Sometimes it's just little things, because they're looking for, unfortunately, seniors are an easy target. And many of us.
Dog that does not like anybody in the yard.
Right.
Barks like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dogs are a great deterrent. My dogs are 20 pounds and 12 pounds. And the little one, she's a
But mighty.
the little one is just a puppy, but she's got a real attitude. My older one, he just turned 2. They're both French bulldogs. We have beware dogs on our signs, and people are a little cautious. But I'm like, the reason why I put them there, we don't want people coming into our yard, because these dogs are our babies. They're part of the family. So again, that's another good home security. Again, I just want everybody to be safe. Safety is an issue. Allergies. Does anybody have allergies? Okay, does everybody have an EpiPen? Okay. My first wife had a nut allergy, and if she got nuts, her tongue would swell and made it hard for her to breathe. It only happened one time, but she had an EpiPen on her all the time. But even if not, make sure you have, the Benadryl, and all the things that you can put on your skin, because there's a lot of bugs here. You know, where I moved from in Tennessee, in Las Vegas, there were no bugs. Now there were scorpions, but there were no bugs, and the scorpions are just, you know, itty bitty. But again, be mindful of your allergies. My youngest daughter got bit right above the eye, and her eye swelled up like she was a boxer. So anytime she gets a mosquito bite, you can guess it's going to be at least a $50 size on her body. And again, that's going to affect. It can really affect you. So just be careful of that. Does everybody like to have flowers and plants and stuff?
No, I kill them.
You kill them all. You have a brown thumb.
Be a killable.
Okay. You get the artificial ones.
Yeah, I do.
Well, just remember, some outdoor plants are going to bring bugs in. Sometimes people are affected by pollen. And there's one of the things we realized when we first moved out here, there's a lot of bugs and there's a lot of humidity. And my wife is not a fan of either. Now, I grew up in Michigan where there's humidity and bugs. And then I lived in St. Louis, and I lived a lot of different places. But she's not big on humidity. She grew up in Southern California. So, pardon me?
Big difference.
Big difference. But she likes it out here, but she works from home. So she does Humana over the phone, and she has 26 states. I cover about 5 states, but she's way better than me. I'm married way over my head. Does everybody use sunscreen? No, nobody's raising their hand. Oh, one. Sorry, we got one.
Okay.
It's very easy in today's environment to get skin cancer. Please, when you go out, and it may not, like in the summer, it may seem cloudy, but the sun rays are coming through. You know, I know for some ladies, the makeup has sunscreen in it, but you can get the wipes on it, but just have something handy. You know, I play golf and I've got sunscreen, right? I've got sunscreen and bug spray in my golf bag. So again, just be mindful of that, because, you know, there's the sun, while it feels good, it's not necessarily healthy too much. A little bit is like everything, kind of a word a lot, everything in moderation is okay. Just don't go crazy about anything. So the last thing I have on here is ICE. Does anybody know what that stands for? And I don't mean like a beverage. What does that stand for? Okay, anybody know? It stands for in case of emergency. So if you put a phone number on your phone, you put it under ICE, and that's who you're going to call. So put that in your phone, the person that you want to contact. It's called ICE, in case of emergency. Mine has my wife on it. My wife has her sister on it.
Well, that's not nice.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. Her sister probably respond faster than I could. But there's just a lot of things going on in society. I just want everybody to be careful and just be mindful. You know, think about it. You know, get a quote for security and say, can I have the stickers, or can I have the thing for the yard? When my daughter went into an apartment, I had the stickers from ADT, and I went and put them on all the windows, even though there was no security. Exactly. You know, dogs are a great deterrent. But as a senior, sometimes my dogs get under my feet, and I almost fell the other night because they want to play. When it comes at night, I don't want to play anymore. But they're both good dogs. So, was this helpful at all?
Yes.
I mean, again, we don't think about this stuff. We just kind of go through our day or our evening and don't think about stuff like that. I know sometimes when I would go shopping with my wife, I'd sit in the car and I'd be, you know, reading my emails, and she said, "Mike, do you even know what's going on around you?" I said, "No." She said, "Mike, please." Just
Lock your door while you're by yourself.
right, right. I mean, does anybody live alone? Okay. Do you make sure your neighbors know what's going on, your family knows what's going on? Just, you know, it's just, everything is just to be mindful. I just want you all to be safe. Thank you for your time.